Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is June 18th, 2019, and I want to share an amazing article with you, piece of information that was sent to me by Brother Servato Flores. I want to thank you, brother, for sharing this information with me. Amazing prophetic word that was given to Rabbi Kaduri 40 years ago. And this is what this article is talking about. And let's go through this. This is the sign of Messiah's return predicted 40 years ago. Mystical rabbi cited time of elections, but no government. The cryptic pronouncements of Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri for years have generated speculation. A most venerated Kabbalist, he died in 2006 at age 108. And one of his messages uncovered after his death prompted the book and DVD called The Rabbi Who Found Messiah. Now, another of his predictions is getting attention because of the political turmoil in Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was re-elected but failed to form a government, leaving the nation heading into new elections. He apparently had captured a fourth consecutive term, April 9th, but in fighting among allies and contentious positions over proposed bills, stymied his efforts to build a majority coalition. Now at Breaking Israel News, features writer Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz has pointed out that some 40 years ago, Kaduri mentioned a time that would come when elections were held, but there was no government. And this is the interesting part of this article. The point of reference was to a time when the Messiah was expected. 40 years ago, Rabbi Eliyahu Mirav was a young man and searching for his path to serve God. Rabbi Mirav frequented the court of Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, a rabbi and Kabbalist from Baghdad, noted for his utter devotion, he reported. Murray said, Rabbi Kaduri spoke very little, so it was very important to understand precisely what he intended. One day he was taking questions and someone asked when the Mashiach, or the Messiah, would arrive and whether there were signs that would precede his arrival. The rabbi answered, when there will be elections, but there will not be a government. It was unclear then, since elections naturally precede a new government. That is simply the way things work, Murray told Berkowitz. But he said when those circumstances developed now, he recognized them. Netanyahu, whose party won 36 seats in parliament, had been given 28 days to form a coalition, but that didn't happen. For the first time in Israel history then, a second round of general elections was set up. As strange as things are, I realized that it was precisely the situation that Rabbi Kaduri described 40 years ago, Rabbi Mirav said. WND reported earlier on the book by Carl Gallups, who explained Kaduri left behind, when he died, a letter with instructions to open it 1 year after his death. In the letter, he proclaimed the name of the Messiah was Yehoshua, the formal name of Yeshua or Jesus in Greek. So the interesting note about this article and the reason why they're picking this, why they're picking up this prophetic word now and talking about this now. This was published 3 days ago by WND. And they're talking about this prophecy by Rabbi Kaduri because he was asked, when will Messiah return? And the rabbi cited, it will be a time when there are elections and no government. And this is exactly what we have right now in Israel. We had elections on April 9th. They had until May 30th to form a coalition government. No government coalition was formed. And so right now, there's no government in Israel. There's no coalition in Israel. And so they have a second election set up for September. And so we are in a time right now between May 30th through their next election where there are elections and no government. And so this story is being talked about because the time we are living in right now is unprecedented. It's the first time in Israel's history where there have been elections and yet no government was formed. So the words of Rabbi Kaduri are being considered once again. Is this a valid prophecy? Was Kaduri giving a time to look for based on an unprecedented change in Israel politics, where an election occurred and there was no government formed? This is the window we are in right now. Now that Pentecost has completely passed on the Hebrew calendar in 2019, the next marker on the Hebrew calendar is the 9th of Av. I am focusing on the day that all tragedies have fallen upon Israel and the Jewish people for over 4,000 years. Throughout their history, the day of all their greatest tragedies has been the 9th of Av. If you have not seen this last video I did called Rapture and Wrath on the 9th of Av, this is the complete report. I've put together all the pieces of information in one video to make it easy to see and understand. You can consider it, you can pray about it, but this would fall into this window during the time that Rabbi Kaduri mentioned, elections, but no government in Israel. This is my report for today. I pray you are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People, the sign of his coming revealed.